Hello everybody, this is Crazy Rhino of the Bagel Club, once again bringing you this week's Extra Bagels, the, extension of the Bagel Club podcast, where I talk about things that I watch, like TNA and other indie promotions. Because, you need more of me talking about wrestling. I don't know. Anyways, let's get right into this with this week's TNA Impact, which was, this was the big one. So I'll get to that later. Let's get it before we get into the main attraction, which if you don't live under a rock, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to the start of the show in the opening segment, featuring the Miracle Mike Bennett and Maria, who Bennett was very angry about Moose's actions last week in his championship match. Demanding that he wants to be in the, of course, the title picture. He wants to be the world champion, damn it. And he ends up firing Moose, in a very strongly worded text message, according to him. But it would be Dixie Carter gets the last laugh as she came out and announced that not only was Moose officially signed to Impact, but he was also going to be Bennett the Miracle's opponent at Bound for Glory. So we have that match set up. Yeah. Then a little bit later in a backstage segment where Miracle and Maria were once again arguing with Dixie, Dixie decided to inform Maria that since she's the Knockouts champion, it would be a conflict of interest for her to be also the leader of the Knockouts. So she's no longer the leader of the Knockouts, and she also has to defend her title at Bound for Glory. Yeah, so basically these two are getting their comeuppance at Bound for Glory. At least it seems that way. I'm honestly expecting Moose to go over Bennett and probably Maria to lose the title. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what they'll do with the Maria story, honestly. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm expecting Moose to go over Bennett, and because he's Moose and he's new and he's awesome, and he's gonna get a nice push from this little feud here. I think I'm all for it. Yay! Now, to the first actual match of the show. It was a Knockouts tag match featuring Gail Kim and Jade, and the team of Sienna and Allie. Yeah. Of course, throughout this match, Allie was doing her shenanigans, not knowing how to wrestle, but she still wanted to get involved in the match and do things, and annoying the shit out of Sienna to the point where Sienna actually hit her with, I think she calls it the silencer. It's a pounce, and just kind of walks away while Jade reluctantly pins Allie, just to kind of end this whole charade. But her and Gail Kim, despite that, were checking up on Allie, make sure she's okay and stuff. So it's, once again, this whole story with Allie continues to be very interesting, and the fans are all behind her, myself included, despite, her whole thing in Smash Wrestling. But hey, it's a different promotion, she has a different character, so fuck it. Damn it, I don't know. But yeah, I like where this is going. I can see, I'm not sure what I'm expecting from this, to be honest. Like, I can kind of see them doing something like, oh hey, Allie knows how to wrestle now. Like, she's taken some training from somebody. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I think she'll end up being a good actual, wrestling knockout in due time. And hopefully we get that epic, the epic Allie Rosemary feud from Smash Wrestling bleeds into TNA after this happens. Ooh, I would love that so much. But that's just me. Moving on, we had Probably the second biggest thing to happen out of this week's Impact was the Billy Corgan announcement that A, the King of the Mountain title was officially retired, and B, is going to be replaced with the the Impact Grand Championship, which has a really nice looking belt. I like it. And also has a completely new match format, which is very MMA style. Basically, it's three 3-minute rounds max, with the judges scoring performance after each round. So if it goes all 3 rounds, then it's the judge's decision who wins, based on who won each individual round. It's basically best 2 out of 3 rounds if that happens, but you can also win by pinfall or submission at any time. Probably DQ as well. I don't know. And it's a pretty interesting format. During this announcement, Drew Galloway showed up, and also Aaron Rex showed up to continue their feud, but Corgan stopped them from ever, fighting in this situation, and had Galloway stay in the ring for the first match in this tournament that's going to culminate at Bound for Glory to be the first Impact Grand Champion. His match was against Braxton Sutter, and overall it was a pretty good match. The lighting was interesting. All the lighting was focused on the ring, and there were a couple, basically like the 3 judges were set up ringside, and scored them each round, like I said. Also, apparently the judges are incapable of scoring anything less than a 9. Hopefully they change that, because that's the only problem I have with this format, is that the judges' scores were either a 9 or a 10, nothing less than that. So hopefully they introduced, 8s, pretty much anything under a 9, that would be nice, just to make it seem less, give it more validity as like a thing, instead of making it seem, because after all, my point gets across immediately, almost, with Drew Galloway pretty much dominating Sutter in round 1, but yet Sutter got 9s from each of the 3 judges, while Galloway got 10, despite Galloway dominating that round. That's the problem, because it's like, oh hey, Sutter got his shit pushed in. Hey, he did a 9. It was a 9. That's kind of the problem I have with it. So hopefully they, score it better in future matches. That's, like I said, that's the only problem I have with this Grand Championship dealio right now. Yeah, also I made the freaking joke on Twitter as I was watching this that, hey, the Grand Championship matches are being contested under Valley of Shadows lighting because I'm a silly idiot like that. I don't know. Like I said, the lighting was focused on the ring and nothing else. Everything else was darkened. So yeah, much like the Valley of Shadows match, that the one time that happened, excuse me, burp. But yeah, I would actually like to see more of those, even though it's just Monsters Ball with less lighting. I like it, but that's just the Decay fan in me. So moving on. The Galloway Sutter match, it was a good match. Like I said, Drew won round 1. Braxton Sutter actually won round 2. But in round 3, Galloway would get the submission victory over Sutter. I forget how, but he got the submission victory. So, yeah, but it was good. I like the format. Once they kind of flesh it out and the wrestlers get used to it, I think it'd be something good. It's going to be something different, which is nice. Different is always good, especially if it's pulled off correctly. So yeah, I'm for that. One interesting thing that happened was actually during the commercial break, Braxton Sutter, just after his defeat, got attacked by Rockstar Spud. So that feud continues, and hopefully it turns into an actual feud, especially now that Sutter's no longer in that tournament. I honestly want to see some kind of no DQ or hardcore match between Spud and Sutter at Bound for Glory. I think it would be a good match, and it'd be good for this feud, I think. TNA, make it happen. Do it. Or I will book it better. No, I don't know. So, yeah. Let's see. What happened next on Impact? Well, we had the press conference. Speaking of MMA style things, we had a... Well, not MMA style, but we had a very formal press conference being hosted by Billy Corgan, featuring Ethan Carter III and Lashley. Of course, you know, the competitors for the TNA World title at Bound for Glory. This is a good back and forth conference promo thing. You know, Lashley was the kind of egocentric, badass champion. Cause like, kick your ass, blah blah blah. I don't know, but it was good. I liked it. It eventually broke down, as all these things do, into a brawl, where they just kind of brawled all the way around the into the bleachers and around everywhere. Lashley got the upper hand on EC3 in this brawl by a lot, and it was good. I like this segment. It was a good segment. You know, definitely builds up some hype for their match at Bound for Glory, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah. Then we had our last, we actually had only one more in-ring segment in the Impact Zone, and it was another Grand Championship quarterfinal match. I think quarterfinal. This one was Jesse Goddard's, of the Bromans, of course, versus Eli Drake. And this was a pretty interesting one. Jesse Goddard's actually won both of the first two rounds, so in order for Eli Drake, also I am doing the little arm finger wag thing every time I say Eli Drake. The only way he could actually win this match was by scoring a pinfall or submission, which he actually did. So Eli Drake moves on to the next round of the tournament, and I don't know why. I like Eli Drake. I think he's good. He's good. He's probably my, you know, outside of the whole Decay Hardys thing, he's probably my favorite person in TNA right now. Well, between him and Drew Galloway, I would say Eli Drake, though. I like him. I don't know. Maybe I'm a dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. But yeah, I was glad to see Eli Drake pick up the win, and I'm really curious as to who's going to be the first grand champion here. Honestly, I have no idea who it could be. I'm gonna guess Drew Galloway or Aaron Rex, one of those two, but you know, Bound for Glory is still a month away. We'll find out then, and it'll be a grand old time. So yeah, that was it. That was it with the normal content. Now we get to the good stuff and the whole point of the show. So, remember the final deletion? They did another one, except this one was called Delete or Decay, and it was not a match. It was more of a home invasion thing, since the whole thing behind Delete or Decay was you know, Decay wanting to kidnap King Maxwell. For what reason, I'm not sure, but hey, they wanted to kidnap King Maxwell. And, you know, they invaded the Hardy compound, and there was an epic fight between all three members of Decay and everyone at the Hardy compound. Matt Hardy, Brother Nero, Rebby was involved, Senor Benjamin, Vanguard 1, even Skarsgård was involved in this, the dilapidated boat. Couple, and of course throughout the show they showed scenes kind of leading up to this, including one where Rosemary, or a random trucker, passed Rosemary down the highway, stopped and tried to pick her up for sex things, which led to all of Decay showing up and stealing his truck and leaving him knocked out in the middle of the road with his pants down for some reason. Anyways, so yeah, that was pretty nice. But I'm not really going to go into details of what happened here in Delete or Decay because you have to watch it for yourself. It's on Impact. It's on TNA. Actually, I think it's on Pop TV's YouTube channel. You have to watch it. It was honestly, it was better than the final deletion. It was so enjoyable. Like I said last week, I had my worries because there wasn't a big there wasn't much at stake in this spectacle, other than protecting King Maxwell. But it ended up working out very well. Like the biggest worry I had was like this would end up like the compound fight between the Wyatts and New Day, where they just kind of fight, like brawl for a little bit, and then Decay leaves. Nope, there was a lot of shit happening. There was fireworks. Skarsgård was involved. Joseph Park made a surprise cameo. The brother, air quotes, of Abyss. I thought that was really funny because it's Joseph freaking Park. That was great. But yeah, there was so many things happening. One of my favorite moments was the fucking crazy Steve after he finishes brawling with Brother Nero in the pool. Regenerates his face paint. He has the ability to regenerate his face paint just with one little swipe of the hand. It was just watch Delete or Decay. Just watch it. It's so good, and I loved every second of it. It was great. It was, yeah, I really don't know what else to say about it, really, without, like, just explaining everything in painful detail, which I don't really want to do. But it was super enjoyable, both because of the Broken Hearties and how great they were, and because my, never-ending love of Decay. I can't help it. I am one with the Hive, as I've mentioned many times. It's just so good. And there was no clear-cut winner. I'm not going to spoil what happened, because I want you to fucking watch this if you haven't already. And yeah, it's actually going to be very interesting what happens in the weeks leading up to Bound for Glory after this. Very, very interesting. So, before I move on, I want you all to sound off in the comments. What did you guys think of Delete or Decay? Because I am genuinely curious. What was your favorite moment of Delete or Decay? Was it the paint regeneration? Was it something else? Was it Joseph Park? It was just... let me know. Let us know. Because interaction is awesome. So, yeah. I just can't get over how fun that was. Like, it's fun to watch. That's the greatest thing. And it felt fresh compared to the final deletion. Like, the final deletion was its own thing, and Delete or Decay, although used some similar situations as the final deletion, it felt like its own thing, and just the addition of Decay added so much more to it, because Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Abyss are the perfect, like, horror movie villains in this. They're so good, and just Rosemary and Steve especially. Like, nothing against Abyss, because he is also awesome. I know I kind of shit on him a little bit the past couple times, but Abyss is still fucking awesome. But Rosemary and Steve, man, they're damn good at what they do. Damn good. And that's what makes them so entertaining, and that's what makes Decay my favorite stable in wrestling. That's why Rosemary is my favorite current wrestler overall. And yeah, I'm saying favorite over the likes of people like Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch. Rosemary is my favorite. My opinions suck, I know, but hey, that's how I feel. Yeah. I could go on forever vaguely saying, oh, I love Delete or Decay, but I'm just going to move on to the other thing that I am able to discuss this week, and that is another Smash Wrestling event. It was their biggest show of the year up to this point, Super Showdown 4. Basically, their SummerSlam WrestleMania show, kind of, in a way. So, boy, was it a show. 2.5 hours of greatness. Like I said, before I get into this, I'm just going to plug Smash Wrestling a little bit there, because, you know, I support them, and I think you should support them as well, especially if you live in the, if you live in Ontario, especially the Toronto area, so you can watch Smash Wrestling live, because they're great. But if you can't, they have an on-demand service with all their shows. It's ondemand.smash-wrestling.com. $7.50 a month, 2-week free trial. I recommend it. I really, really do. But let's move on to the show, Super Showdown 4. And the show started off with the Kevin Bennett Experience, specifically the muscle of the Kevin Bennett Experience, who was flanked by Big Tank, who was actually in his singles match debut in this match against one half of the Overdogs, Sebastian Suave. This was a good match. I don't have a lot to say about each individual match, but this was a good match. The Muscle actually got defeated Sebastian Suave with some help from Big Tank, because, of course, you know, that's what they do. They provide distractions, beat the crap out of people. Thanks to those distractions, I mean, yeah. So the Muscle wins in his Smash singles debut in the biggest stage in Smash Wrestling. It was pretty neat. Next up, we get to a very heated match. There's a lot of big matches of big rivalries in this show. First of which was Brent Banks versus Scotty O'Shea, but there's a catch. This was also a #1 contenders match for the Smash title. So, Banks and O'Shea, they've been going back and forth for probably since the incarnation of Smash Wrestling. They've been feuding forever. They've tried to kill each other many times. And they've also had this tag team, which is kind of worked, not really. And, yeah, they try to put their feud to rest here, but, no. Which, spoiler alert, they didn't, but, this was also a very good match. You know, they definitely, felt more like a big fight instead of just a regular match, because, you know, they have such, you know, hatred towards each other, and they want to end each other's careers, possibly lives. I left a couple notes here. There did a couple big, like, top rope spots into another big move, but only got a 2 count. Each individually did that in the match. It was pretty damn good. Brent Banks actually hit a huge finishing move on O'Shea, but just before he got the 3 count, he lifted up O'Shea and said, "No, I'm not done yet." And what he did was not lose to O'Shea, surprisingly, because he's too cocky and arrogant. No. But instead what he did was set up O'Shea at the corner and actually hit Scotty O'Shea's own move, which is the Control-Alt-Delete, which is basically a cannonball into the corner, but it's called a Control-Alt-Delete because it's O'Shea's signature finisher move. And he actually got the 1-2-3 with that. You know, pouring salt into the wound. So yeah, Brent Banks pins Scotty O'Shea with his own move, which is really good. Just really good. I enjoy this match. I like this feud. Not as much as the other feud. We'll get to that, but this is probably my second favorite thing going on in Smash. Yeah, second favorite thing going on in Smash Wrestling right now is this Banks O'Shea feud. But we're not done there, because after the match, O'Shea was very angry and decided to grab his keyboard because he comes to the ring with a computer keyboard because he's the hacker and, you know, he has all these computer-themed signature moves like Control-Alt-Delete, the Cannonball. He also has another move which is a Ace Crusher. He calls the You've Got Mail. You know, he comes to the ring with a computer keyboard and decides after the match to grab the keyboard and smash it against the face of Brent Banks. Which, surprisingly, Brent Banks, from the crowd reaction I saw in this show, Brent Banks seems to be like he's an over heel. He's the heel that gets cheered, basically. And O'Shea got a very negative reaction when he smashed his keyboard against Banks' face. Yeah, this would later lead to a backstage fight between the two, which would lead into another match at their next show, which is going to be a interesting gimmick match, and apparently the Scotty O'Shea signature match, which is a fans bring keyboard match. I'm guessing it is what it says. Fans can bring their keyboards, and they are legal weapons in the match. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, this was a good match. Once again, not a whole lot to say about it without going into like just mind-numbing detail, which I don't really want to do. But it's definitely a very solid match. I like it a lot, and I'm glad this feud is continuing in a very interesting match. Next up, we had the leader of the Kevin Bennett experience, Kevin Bennett himself. Speaking of fiery feuds, yeah, Bennett versus Tyson. Excuse me, while I can't talk. Tyson Dukes, as Bennett has been making Dukes' life basically a living hell the past few months, calling him washed up, constantly defeating him in matches, and it all culminates here at Super Showdown 4. Once again, another really good match. Bennett got the early advantage because right before the bell rang, Bennett and the Kevin Bennett experience all beat down Dukes, but then Bennett would dominate the early portion of the match. But Tyson Dukes overall had the overall, I guess, domination of the match. I couldn't think of a better word. Couple interesting things was the Muscle and Big Tank actually holding up Tyson Dukes outside the ring for Bennett to hit a moonsault on him, but Dukes escaped just out of the way, and Bennett moonsaulted onto the Bennett experience. So, oops. Another really good spot was Dukes actually hitting a deadlift, not just any superplex, a deadlift superplex on Kevin Bennett, and then immediately rolling him out of the ring and hitting another suplex onto the hard concrete tile floor. There was no padding down there. So yeah, superplex into a suplex onto a hard floor. Yeah, ouch. I don't have to tell you. I shouldn't have to tell you how much that sounds like it hurts. That hurts. But it is not Tyson Dukes who would end up winning the match. It is Kevin Bennett, because he would actually hit his I forget what his name of the move is, but it's essentially a crossroads. You remember that move when, you know, Cody Rhodes was in WWE. It's that, but instead of normally, you know, he hits it just on the floor, but to get the win, he actually hit the move off the top rope to get the pin on Tyson Dukes. So Dukes was defeated yet again, and the Kevin Bennett streak continues, where he just is absolutely dominating Dukes in this feud, thanks to the Kevin Bennett experience. It's going to be, once again, another really good match, and I'm not sure what this spells for Tyson Dukes, but it's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here, I think. And Kevin Bennett experience is, well, it's the heels. They're the proper heels. Kevin Bennett is just the big cocky asshole who is, he's good in the ring, but he definitely needs the help of the Muscle and Big Tank sometimes to win. Not all the time, but the Muscle and Big Tank get involved in literally every match he's in, so they're always a thing. But I like this. I like that. Good match. Like I said, moving on. Moving on, we are to oh boy, this match. This is the match I was really looking forward to. This is the feud that A, got me into Smash Wrestling, and B, made me fall in love with indie wrestling. We're talking about Rosemary versus Allie here. But wait, there's more. This was a no disqualification match. No DQ. And this was a freaking war. Like, this wasn't a match. This was a goddamn battle. Rosemary and Allie immediately started beating the crap out of each other outside the ring. The match started with a spear. Just spear. Like, Allie ran at Rosemary with her stake because she's the Demon Slayer. She has a stake with a cross in the shape of a cross. And she got speared so hard the stake just kind of went flying out of the ring. That was the start of the match. Like, that was the first move of the match. There was baking sheets involved that were used heavily. Allie got thrown into the crowd. There's a steel chair involved. The steel chair, if you remember us in the Bagel, I think it was this recent episode of the Bagel Club where we talked about Nixon Newell being dangerous with a steel chair. Allie is also a good. Basically, if you had Nixon Newell versus Allie in a chairs match, I'm pretty sure they would both be dead. Like, it would be a death match. It wouldn't just be a match. It would be a chairs death match. Because, Allie made damn good use of that chair. Of course, beating Rosemary across the back with it, but also sticking her head in it, throwing her head first into the corner with her head in between the chair, and also drop kicking her in the back with her head in the chair in the corner. It was brutal, but that's not where the chairs end. For most of this match, Rosemary kind of dominated. They went back and forth course towards domination, but Rosemary basically brought all the toys in. She brought a table to the ring. She grabbed a ladder, which then she got the ladder drop kicked right into her face, and that's kind of the only thing that happened with the ladder, unfortunately. Then the big thing got involved. Thumbtacks. We had tacks in this match. Yep. And one interesting thing to note was they kind of loosely mentioned Decay. Which is interesting. Like the announcers mentioned, she has met with some other guys in another promotion. Obviously, Crazy Steve and Abyss, and maybe learned a thing or two. She actually hit Allie with a choke slam. She's also been using sometimes the black hole slam to finish matches. Abyss's move. So yeah, she's definitely adopted a bunch of Decay things to who used to be Courtney Rush is now Rosemary everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but at least in Smash, I think she's still Courtney Rush in other promotions, but potato. But yeah, there was tacks. There's a bunch of teases with the tacks. Oh boy, the spot when the tacks finally got used. So, what happened with the tacks, you asked? Well, you see, a superplex happened. Allie superplexed Rosemary onto the tacks. That's what happened. Yeah. It was crazy. But that wasn't the end of the match. Nope, Rosemary kicked out of it. Even though she was being covered on the tacks with Allie's weight on her. She still kicked out. And, yeah, this would lead into the table being set up on the corner of the ring. The chair was used yet again as, Allie hit Rosemary with a code breaker. A chair-assisted code breaker, mind you. That looked fucking brutal. And then we got to the finish of the match, which was a, well, we had some super kicks, but these weren't just ordinary super kicks. These were super kicks with, basically Allie put some tacks on the bottom of her boots. Yeah, it was a tack-assisted super kick. There wasn't one. There were 2 super kicks with the tacks. There was almost 3, but Rosemary hit Allie with the Asian Mist, blinding her. Speared Allie through the table, just right through the table, which was a very nice spot. But she wasn't done there, as she locked in the sharpshooter on Allie and drug her over the tacks, to where Allie finally decided to tap out. So yeah, Rosemary won that. Just absolute war. Like I said, you have just go to Smash Wrestling on Demand. You gotta watch this match. It was a damn good match. It was a pretty brutal match as well. Maybe I'm a bit biased here, just because this is my favorite feud in wrestling, even more so than Decay versus. Well, I don't know. I honestly want to rank Decay versus Hardy's over this one, but it's a tie. But yeah, and my absolute obsession with Rosemary. Yeah, stuff, but enough of that. So yeah, it was a damn good match. It was a damn brutal match, and go watch it. Go to Smash Wrestling on demand thing. It's 2 weeks free. Yeah, you have 2 weeks to watch it. Go do it. Do it, I say. And then while you have those 2 weeks, watch also everything else that happens in their feud, because it's a damn good feud. I love it. And this is the feud that made Rosemary what she is today. She went just from kind of, I don't want to say just another female wrestler in Courtney Rush, but that's kind of what she was. I mean, she was good. I've seen some pre-Demon Courtney Rush matches. She's good. But this is the feud that not only put Courtney Rush on the map, but also Cherry Bomb / Alley. Because this unleashed the demon within Courtney Rush, which completely changed. It completely revamped Courtney Rush, the wrestler. Because she added, she added the creepier vibes. She has the face paint now. She does I don't know, kind of like a stalking approach to her, and like as far as movement and her little, I still call it the resurrection. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be called, since it's not a sit up. I guess a kneel up. I don't know. I say resurrection though, because it sounds cooler. That's probably the best thing she added. Plus, she's adopted some things from Abyss, actually, with the choke slam and the black hole slam. It was really interesting. Yeah. And then, of course, this turned Cherry Bomb into Allie the Demon Slayer, and also, hey, she's in TNA now. I mean, her character's completely different, because the Allie in TNA doesn't know how to wrestle, whereas the Allie outside of TNA was just in a goddamn, no DQ match where she got speared through a table and also superplexed somebody onto tacks. But, So, yeah. I'm going to stop gushing about this, okay? Okay. Actually, no, I'm not. Because there's one thing I noticed. This may just be a stupid theory, but I've noticed something about Rosemary, because she uses two different theme songs in Smash Wrestling. She has her TNA theme, The Nobodies by Miller Manson, but she also uses I think it's the opening theme to Sword Art Online, I think. But yeah, she kind of goes back and forth between both of those. I think she primarily uses The Nobodies when dealing with Allie, but I don't know. It's either that or she, like, the first thing I thought was she kind of is doing like a Teen Titans type thing, where in the show, if you don't know this, the show Teen Titans, it had the opening theme basically judged how like serious of an episode it was. So like if the song was sung, the vocals were in Japanese in the theme, it was going to be a more lighthearted and silly episode. But if the theme was in English, it was a more serious episode. I wonder if she's doing something like that. That's the vibe I was getting. But I've been thinking about it, and I think she's only used the Nobodies when dealing with Allie. I could be... No. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I'm probably thinking too much into this. Of course, you know, the only person who knows is Rosemary herself, and, well, I can't really ask her that, since I'll never have the opportunity to ask her that, sadly. Most likely. I don't know. Don't mind me. I'm just being sad because I'll probably never ever be able to meet Rosemary and see her wrestle live and in person. Oh well. Dims the ropes, I guess. Still wish I could see her live. I don't know. There's one person in particular on Twitter who I'm seriously jelly of, because not only did she meet Rosemary, you know, got pictures, autographs, all that jazz. But enough about that, so, yeah. Maybe one day. Probably not. By the time I'm able to, like, go out and venture and see things abroad, she'll probably be retired by then. Knowing my luck, I don't fucking know. But enough about that, okay? I'm done. Moving on. Next segment, Smash Super Showdown 4, okay? Next match, it was the other half of the Overdogs, the Drunk Tank John Greed versus the, what the hell do they call him? Bloodstained Hurricane. Yeah, Bloodstained Hurricane, Jesse Amato, who, is a kind of a mainstay of Smash's, I guess, kind of spin-off thing, promotion called Infinity. It's kind of like their NXT in a way, if that makes sense, just the way it is, I think. I don't know, but yeah, John Greed versus Jesse Amato. This was pretty good. This was more of a fight than a match, just because the style of Jesse Amato. There wasn't a whole lot to note about this match. Amato, for most of it, worked on the left arm of Greed, and that's how he would end up winning, by using hitting Greed with a crossface while hooking the left arm with his legs. Like I said, this was a good solid match. I don't really have much to say about it. It was just another good match, and yeah, I'm liking this Jesse Amato guy. Something about the crazy people, I don't know. I guess it's just the edgy teen in me returning. I don't know. But yeah, seems pretty good. And it was pretty interesting seeing him out of a hardcore thing, since he's kind of established as kind of a more like hardcore style competitor. But he, he was just in a traditional match here. But hey, yeah, it was good shit. Amato picks up the win, and yeah. And next match, we we had a triple threat tag match. This was between the team of the Well-Oiled Machines, Mike Rollins and Braxton Sutter. No Allie at their flank because, you know, she's recovering from the her defeat at the hands of Rosemary. Second team was the another team mainly from Infinity, the Fraternity, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. Their gimmick is basically they're college frat boys. They party, drink, you know. They actually come out with solo cups. They actually have a weird, like, one of them had like actually they both did, had a necklace of mini solo cups with lights in them, which was interesting. And finally, the third team, which was the big one. It was a team of Fuerza and another guy. Not sure you might know him. He's kind of been around, did a couple things. Chavo Guerrero. Chavo freaking Guerrero. Yeah. Making his Smash Wrestling debut in this match. This was a good match. This was a lot of fun. The opening was one of the members of the fraternity versus Fuerza. They had back and forth. Fuerza kind of got the upper hand, and the fraternity actually offered Fuerza a drink, to which he was about to chug it when he backed up into the Machine's corner, and Mike Rollins tagged himself in and grabbed the cup and poured the drink down his tights. That's the thing that happened. It was silly. Mike Rollins is a silly guy. I like him. But yeah. This was a good match. Oh boy, the ending of this match. Well, like the ending segments of this match, where after things kind of broke down, everybody went everywhere, and we had suicide dives and all that shit. We had quite the duel. It was one of the members of the fraternity, I forget which one, since this is my first time seeing them. He had out a big paddle for, paddling. He has a big paddle. Threatens to hit Chavo with it, but Chavo evens the stakes by bringing out Pele. Yeah. Chavo Guerrero brought out Pele. This is an actual thing that happened. Pele was getting used as a weapon, and it took down a lot of people, and Chavo Guerrero even did a move akin to his late... Are they brothers? I don't know. Whatever. To Eddie Guerrero with the light sheet and steel. He handed Pele to, I think, to Mike Rollins or one of the fraternity. I forget who. And fell down trying to sell that he got hit by them, trying to get the DQ. It was really entertaining. But it didn't work out, but it didn't matter because in the end, things broke down. One problem I had with this match was they kind of just forgot who was legal in the match after things broke down. So it was basically just anybody pinning whoever the hell they wanted, and it ended up being a double pin with Chavo and Fuerza, doing a double splash on the Well-Oiled Machines and pinning both of them for the win. Once again, a really entertaining match. Chavo freaking Guerrero, man. And fucking Pele. It's hilarious. I kind of want to see Pele meet Space Monkey for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know. But yeah, it was cool seeing Chavo Guerrero again, because I haven't seen him wrestle since he was in WWE. So, it's cool to see him again. Of course, I know he's been doing all kinds of things in the indies and stuff for a long time, but it's Chavo freaking Guerrero, man. It's awesome. And yeah. So that would lead into the main event of the evening. This one was interesting. This was the for the Smash Wrestling Championship. It was Tarek versus a man who was officially making his Smash Wrestling debut. But he was making his Smash Wrestling debut as the champion. Mark Haskins, whatever. That's where it got weird, because over in a actually in Britain in a show for Progress Wrestling. That is where Haskins won the Smash Wrestling Championship in an open challenge by Johnny Gargano. You might have heard that guy. So yeah, this was his first appearance in a Smash Wrestling ring, despite him already being the champion. It's really weird. It's really weird. It makes sense, but it's really freaking weird. But this was a main event caliber match. This was match of the night. Well, I guess to most people it would be match of the night. To me, it's not, because of the whole Rosemary Alley thing, but that's just bias, kind. That's more bias than anything. But this was a damn good match. You know, we started off a little slow, picked up pace. Once we got into like the last 10 minutes with all the, you know, huge big moves and the near falls. Yeah, this was damn good. One of the biggest moves that I actually wrote down was Tarek hitting Haskins with a combination, a GTS, go to sleep, into a coast to coast. He did that, but he only got a 2 count out of it. But he did that. That was amazing. That was damn amazing. But in the end, it was actually Haskins who would get the victory by submission, getting Tarek in a very vicious armbar and picking up the victory. So yeah, in his official debut for Smash Wrestling, he retains the championship. God, that is weird to say. But once again, that was a damn good match. Match of the night for everyone who isn't me and therefore has good opinions. It was a damn good match. And yeah, that was Smash Wrestling Super Showdown 4. Great wrestling, you know, the good feuds that are still continuing. Like every feud is continuing, or like big feud. You know, the Brent Banks, Scotty O'Shea, Kevin Bennett, Tyson Dukes, probably. I don't know. Rosemary and Alley have already been confirmed that their feud is continuing, because in a couple months, or actually in like a month and a half, at the Canusa Classic, which is going to be an interesting show. It's going to be Alley versus Rosemary in a steel cage as the main event. That I am really freaking looking forward to. But that's not the next show for Smash Wrestling 4. They actually have a huge 3-night show that I believe they're going to be taping this weekend, I think. It is a cross-promotion between Smash Wrestling and, guess what? Progress Wrestling. The British invasion of Smash Wrestling, basically. They're doing 3 shows, one on each night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's they're going to do an uncensored show, and then they have 2 nights of action. And apparently the Smash Wrestling title is going to be defended on all 3 nights. They have just a completely stacked event for this weekend, and I'm looking forward to watching it in a few weeks and talking about it here on the Extra Bagels. For all of you to not care, but hey, I don't care because I like talking about it, even if my audience is crickets. But that's just me. So yeah, I have that to very much so look forward to. Unfortunately, I am caught up with Smash Wrestling now, so maybe I can catch up in general with the Bagels and actually get this released on time. That would be nice. But there we go. That is that's all the content I have for this week's Extra Bagels, TNA, and Smash Wrestling. I'm hoping to expand to more things, hopefully starting next week. I should actually start watching Ring of Honor weekly, and also during a random trip to my father's house, I managed to catch New Japan Pro Wrestling on TV, but only like half of the main event, and I want to watch more. I have to watch more. So, possibly starting next week, I'll be adding Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling to the Extra Bagels, along with TNA. So, you might have that to look forward to. And I'm really, of course, then there's, the whole fact that Lucha Underground Season 3 has started, but we'll be covering that in the normal show, since Mueller also watches that. And yeah, so, I think that'll do it for this week's Extra Bagels. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please sound off in the comments what you thought of everything I discussed here. Everything on TNA, especially Delete or Decay. What did you think of Delete or Decay? And if there's, by any chance, there happens to be a Smash Wrestling fan who's watched the Smash Super Showdown 4 or even attended it live, what did you guys think of the matches within Super Showdown 4 and stuff? Yeah. Please sound off in the comments. Your feedback is appreciated. So, without further ado, I'm going to sign off on this episode of the Extra Bagels. I am Crazy Rhino, and on behalf of the rest of the Bagel Club, I will see you later. Also, follow me on Twitter at RhinoGT4, if you would. That'd be cool. But yeah, see you guys next week.